Hello, everyone. Just make sure that our connection is good. I think we are on. Good. All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another Facebook Live. My name is Sigrid Solis. I am a program coordinator with the Rutgers Cooperative Extension Family and Community Health Sciences Department. Today, we are doing a Russian beet salad or a Russian vinaigrette salad. This was one of my favorite recipes to make when I was in college. I had a couple of Russian roommates who would always come to our dorm room with Russian beet salads that their grandmothers would make, and I just thought it was so delicious. This is also a favorite recipe of mine because these ingredients can be found pretty easily. They're pretty accessible ingredients. It's pretty easy to prepare, requires very minimal equipment, very inexpensive. The ingredients involved are very inexpensive. It's probably stuff that you probably have at home already. Um, and it's also just so delicious. It pairs well with so many things. I think it makes for a great side or main dish for lunch, dinner. You can change it up, add things like tuna, hard-boiled eggs, things like that, peas if you want to. Today, I am making something that's very simple. It involves carrots, russet potatoes or white potatoes, and beets. I would definitely recommend using the red kind rather than the heirloom kind, which there are yellow ones and candy striped ones and all those type of different beets. I recommend going with the conventional beet. There she is, as we know her. I always like to pick out my beets with the stems on or with the leaves on because I like to saute the greens. So that is why I have that. This is a fairly easy recipe to make. Like I said, involves minimal equipment. I will say it is a little bit involved though because there is a bit of it's a little bit tedious with the prep work. But after that, it's just about assembling all of the ingredients in a bowl, seasoning it, and it's ready. So let's start. So, like I said, I have potatoes. Um, I am using a russet potato, um, carrot. So with the carrot, with all of these vegetables, you're going to want to create flat surfaces on them. So this kind of involves a bit of knife skills. Or I'll provide you guys with a pretty good cheat with the carrot. And you could probably do it on the other vegetables. It might just not work as well. With the carrots, we don't really have a flat surface, and it can be a little bit hard to make a flat surface on a carrot because it's kind of like a cone. It'll roll around, and it's really hard to keep it down. So what I like to do is when I'm peeling the carrot, I actually like to peel it over a bowl so I can save like these shavings and use them for a different recipe, like throw them in a salad. What I'll do is essentially I'll keep peeling until I create a flat surface on the carrot. Now I've already done two sides here. I'll just do the remaining two sides. And again, I want to be very careful doing this. Be mindful of your fingers. Go slow. There's no need to rush with this because, believe it or not, you can also hurt yourself with a peeler. I have had it happen before going way too fast. So take your time with this. Here we've got our flat surface. And like I said, again, you're creating these nice ribbons. There's no need to throw them away after you've peeled off the top layer. You can save these for a salad. I think I've even seen some vegan recipes that involve these thin shavings making carrot bacon, so that's also an option. I do not have a recipe for that, but maybe I'll look one up after since I'll have all these nice carrot shavings. Right, so we have got our flat surface, all four sides, and there we go. So what I'll want to do with this is essentially, and you're creating with all of these vegetables, you want to make sure it's uniform because especially with the carrots and the potatoes, you're going to boil them together. I like to boil the beets separately and reserve some of that liquid to use because it's very bright, very pigmented. I like to use that as food coloring for other recipes that I'm going to make. It's natural and it's already there. I've already boiled it away from the beets, so why throw it out? So that's why I like to boil the beets separately. And like I said, these are all going to be diced the same diameter or size, I should say, which is about a centimeter, I'd say, or maybe a quarter of an inch, just about. You're going to want about that size. Maybe a fingernail. It's about the size of my fingernail. So what I do after I've peeled my carrot, I'm going to create kind of like these little blockies. No really need to measure these because I'm just doing this so that I know, so that, you know, it's a little bit easier than working with the whole big carrot. Then I'll cut it in half and then half again. So I create fourths like so. And then I'll line them up. I like to line them up because I think it's kind of easy to see, like, if any of the layers are slipping. So that way, you know, you don't have a huge piece at the end that might have slipped out when you were dicing all the other pieces. And then there you go, you've got your carrot dices. And you'll want to do this again with the potato. With the potato, it's a little bit easier to create a flatter edge because it's not like a cone like the carrot. So you've got your flat edge. Once you've got that flat edge, create 4 others. Now, you can definitely use these pieces to throw into the pot. I like to use them in a separate recipe just because I'm pretty strict about having only cube pieces in my Russian beet salad. So even if there's like the slightest bit of curvature, I just choose to work around that by cutting it out, right? So here we've got our round bits of the potato. I've cut them off and I created a kind of like a rectangle. And again, I'll just do the same thing that I did with the carrot, create dices. I won't show you that because you guys can only imagine. And here we have our beet. I just wanted to show you guys these beets. When I choose beets, I usually look for greens that are pretty healthy looking. And if you look at these, I actually had to wash them off pretty well. And I'm going to wash them once again because they were pretty sandy. They had quite a bit of sediment on them. Oh boy, my battery is dying. They had quite a bit of sediment on them. So with this, so that's how I select my my beets. I choose, I look at the leaves and I choose leaves that are a little bit more vibrant, fuller, don't have a lot of holes in them, aren't too wilty because I do like to cook with them. I usually like to saute greens, the beet greens with a little bit of olive oil and garlic. That's simple. So I'll remove this right at the base, and I'm not going to actually use all of the stock, this entire stock, but I am just going to throw them in a bath of water just to further remove any more sediment, any of that sandy sediment. You might even find some critters in there. That always happens to me whenever I buy greens of any sort. And then here we have our beet. With this, you'll just want to do the same thing. I recommend peeling it, so you'll peel your entire beet, right, like so. You'll definitely want to remove this end where the greens were. I didn't do such a great job, so just be very careful. Definitely hold it against the cutting mat. Peel it away, and then again, you'll want to create your flat surfaces. You want to create a nice shape like this. This ends up looking more like a cube. Yes. So once you've got all of your veggies chopped up, and I'm telling you that's the most tedious part of all of this, you'll want to boil your vegetables, right? So these are all ready to go. These will all have very similar cooking times. Like I said, I cook the potatoes and carrots together because they don't really release that much of a color, unlike the beets. So I do a little bit under fork tender just because this is going in a salad and I will be tossing it with some oil and vinegar. So I wanted to retain a bit of its structure. Like if I squeeze it in my finger, I shouldn't be able to mush it all that much, right? And I'm giving it a pretty firm squeeze. So you don't want it to be all that mushy. You still want a little bit of crunch in there. Yes. So once that's ready, once all of your veggies are cut and boiled. Now here for the ratios, I do about half a cup of, or what I have here is half a cup of carrots, half a cup of russet potatoes, and then I have about a cup of beets. This is a beet salad, so I want it to be more beets than anything else. Okay, so I'll toss that in there. And like I said, this is pretty simple. I put it in there. And then I've also got some pickles. Not super necessary, but in my opinion, it really adds to the salad. It's a vinaigrette salad. It's a little bit tangy, and I feel like the pickles add another element of tang to it. So I definitely think you're missing out if you're not adding in the pickles. But if you're not a fan of the pickles, then totally not necessary. And then I found a recipe online that called for adding onions and parsley and that kind of thing. I haven't had a Russian beet salad with onions in it. I think that would be a good addition to it. I'd probably maybe do some pickled red onions just to further enhance the color of this recipe. I am doing dill because that's when the first time I had a Russian beet salad, it had a lot of dill in it. So I'm doing about 2 tablespoons of finely chopped dill. Dill is just so lovely. I think it's just such a nice and bright herb. There's really nothing that tastes like it, I feel like. And then I'll give that a nice mix. So our Russian beet salad is coming along. And then after that, vinegar, oil, salt, right? The holy trinity, you could say, right? The holy trinity in any kitchen. So here we want about a tablespoon of olive oil, extra virgin, cold pressed. That goes straight in there. Then I'll do about the same 1 tablespoon of white vinegar. If you prefer rice wine, that's my preferred vinegar, so I'd probably reach for that one. You could definitely change it out for that, swap it out for that. I wouldn't recommend balsamic, it really wouldn't go. It'd really change the recipe. And then I'm doing about half a teaspoon of salt. Probably a little bit less, honestly. I think half. This is the first measure that All right, I think we are still live. I hope we're still live. Sorry, just some technical difficulties. I really do hope this is still recording. So we combine all of our ingredients. We have our salt in there. I would recommend putting this in the fridge and letting it sit at least an hour, if not overnight. It holds pretty well, especially because you haven't boiled your veggies to absolute mush. So it should hold well in the fridge. And then you should come out with something that looks just like, I really do hope this is still recording because it's like stuck. Okay. It's just recording. Oh gosh, that just slipped out of my hands. You should come out with something that looks just like this. It's really nice and colorful. You have got a lot of iron from the beets, potassium from both the beets and the potatoes. Carrots provide beta carotene, which is super essential for your body. So I just absolutely love this recipe because it's super nutritious, it's easy, and it's so delicious. I hope you guys try it. Let us know if you do in the comments. Thank you and have a nice day.